FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I still see, and I hope I don't see this any longer, but in my experience, which is maybe representative and maybe not, most libertarians I meet have kind of come through a right-wingy phase. The right wing, of course, has, thanks to your Goldwater and your Reagan, who had a lot of anti-state rhetoric, a lot of people who don't inherently want to marginalize themselves, but have this sort of natural anti-government tendency, are going to at least fall through the right-wing hole. Chapter 4 of this book explains how in the 50s the division arose. As you alluded to, in the late 40s and early 50s, there was this inchoate group of sort of anti-Roosevelt, anti-New Deal, individualist people who hadn't quite figured out themselves the distinctions between what we now know as conservative and libertarian. Bill Buckley really pushed that along when he founded National Review in 1950, mostly on the Cold War issue. Buckley was so obsessed with the commie threat that he basically thought, okay, we just need to nuke them now, and it doesn't matter what kind of domestic repression we have in the meantime. Until we've gotten rid of communism, all of this pie in the sky, hoity-toity libertarian stuff about privatizing garbage service is really meaningless. Frank Chodoroff, strangely someone who William Buckley to this day will praise to the skies and talk about how much he loved, was the great voice who explained the distinction between being against communism and being for freedom. And it kind of fell out that the right-wingers were really more just against communism. The libertarians were for freedom. I'm going to very quickly read something. A libertarian who tried to explain why Buckley was wrong in his insistence that we needed to just destroy communism first, because it really helps explain the spiritual difference between the right and the left. This was written by an architect who was the chairman of the board of the Foundation for Economic Education in 1963. War is the culmination of the breaking of libertarian principles, not once, but thousands of times. We libertarians are challenged to jump in at this point and apply our principles to get out of the unholy mess built up over years and years of error on error. I suggest it would be a very little different challenge had Buckley posed this proposition. You're a second lieutenant. Your platoon is surrounded. Your ammunition is gone. 2 of your squad leaders are dead. The 3rd is severely wounded. Now, Mr. Libertarian, let's see you get out of this one with your little intellectual seminars. My answer, said Mr. Dykes, demunicipalize the garbage service. Now wait, don't give me up as a nut yet. I have a point. The second lieutenant is a goner, and so is the prospect of any lasting peace until man learns why it is wrong to municipalize the garbage service. You can't apply libertarian principles to wrong things at their culmination and expect to make any sense. It's too fundamental. You have to start back at the very beginning, and that is precisely what our little intellectual seminars are for. There are some people who build for tomorrow. There are people who build for a year. There are people who look forward a generation. The libertarian takes the long view. He's looking forward to a time when war will be looked on as we now look on cannibalism, a thing of the past. So what do we do in our little intellectual seminars? We make the case for freedom, which cannot coexist with interventionism. And I say we will never end wars until we at least understand why the garbage service should be removed from the police force, that is, government.